Welcome to Herman Tilke's Coat Hanger. We are in Vietnam on the Hanoi circuit. 23 corners of pure exhilaration with the tight walls, the long straights, and plenty of overtaking opportunities. Welcome to LOR Round 11 of the Division 2 Assists League. My name is Savage from Team Crossroads, a new face in the commentary booth, but welcoming alongside myself a very familiar face in Biggles. Biggles, how's it going?
G'day. Glad to be back in Vietnam. I have my chopsticks, I have my noodles, and looking forward to co-commentating with you again for this exciting round.
Absolutely. This one is bound to be an absolute thriller as we are getting ready to get going in qualifying here. The penultimate round of the championship. And looking at the standings here, we have Mikko leading the championship with 179 points. In second, Chenji with 129. Freeware in third, 122. So the midfield battle will be raging on. Of course, now you have a lot more experience with these drivers than I do. So tell me, who do you think are the favorites to watch out for today?
Myself, you think? I mean, are we talking to? Or,
Absolutely, yes.
The other gentleman.
Shall we introduce the other gentleman?
Well, the other gentleman in the room was on track a few weeks ago in Zandvoort until his game broke, and well, he can actually answer one question: who he thinks is actually going to be the good driver tonight, and I would probably say that's Freeware, because he's actually really fast in that racing point. Because I deputised for Prodigy in that race. But probably expecting Freeware to do some good Nick Tucker and Mikko to be on the top here from racing them with them before. So it could be any one of those. But like the strategies they're already going for, they're already going to qualify on the mediums. But the pace degradation on the mediums here is not really too good. It's probably about 2 seconds a lap already. So yeah, we'll see how they do.
And what sort of lap times are you expecting that you would probably do? What sort of lap times have you done before in the past? Because you're a very quick driver. We've seen you win races.
Well, me win races. What are you on about? Never. Probably soft time here. You're looking at a 133, high 133. If we've got guys like Mikko who can get into it. A good time on the mediums, probably a 134, high 134. Anything below that, you're going to be outside the top 10, so you need to really get your lap spot on. But the thing is, these guys have got one set of mediums, so they're going to have to make their lap count if that's the case. And surprisingly, like, everyone won this first game, because like when I did these races, everyone decided, because we've never raced this track before, this is like the interesting thing about this game, new track, no one knows the strategy in the league race. So it's kind of everyone's guessing, and I did a league race to begin with, and I did a 2-stop strategy. That really didn't work, so I tried a 1-stop strategy in my second race, and that took me from P13 on the grid to P3, because I managed to get rid of that pit stop while everyone else obviously did the 2-stop. So people looking to do that 1-stop, it is possible to do soft medium here. Not advised, but a bit risky. But if anyone's actually listening and making notes, there you go. So these drivers can do some damage from outside the top 10, but they've got to overtake these guys on the first few laps. But the guys at the front can also do this strategy, but it's going to be very risky because these tyres do go off in the period at the end of the window. So when they get to about lap 6 or 7 in this strategy, where they would be looking to do the 1-stop soft medium, that's when their soft's literally going to be like on a nice rink. So it's not really what you want, but this strategy is doable, and that's probably what I'd advise for many of them to do tonight. And I probably expect someone like Mikko to do it, and one of the racing points is going to run people off the track from my view. But yeah,
Absolutely. Some bits of strategic brilliance from our very own Adero. And something that we also need to keep in the back of our minds is because of these very tight walls, as we have a slight collision between an AlphaTauri with the Mercedes of Mikko in the hairpin, it is likely that we're going to see the safety car or a VSC at some point during this race, and that in and of itself has the potential to throw quite a wrench into the strategical schemes of many of these drivers.
Exactly, but as Adito was saying before, I actually like it when they're driving on skates or driving on ice, shall we say, around the track. It makes it much more exciting, especially to try to keep it out of the wall here. And we see a lot of these drivers flipping the wall, losing bits and pieces of their car. And I think, as you've quoted there before, Savage, you need to have all these pieces, crucial pieces, attached to your car if you want to be able to make it around a full lap here in Hanoi.
That's right. And just now we saw Freeware, who we have tipped to be very successful in this race, actually being disqualified from the session for being parked on exit from that hairpin of turn 11. So that's him out, and Mikau as well. That's two of our leaders that are relegated to the very back of the starting order right now.
Oh, guess who's up at the P2? And yes, you heard it live. The fan man himself, the man with many fans, the one and only, Pile of Garbage.
Very impressive stuff with a 1:35.9. Of course, these times are bound to fall even more as the session progresses, and a yellow flag in along the straight from turns 5 to 6. This track, it just fascinates me, Biggles, because on one hand, you have a lot of very, very high-speed, downforce-dependent corners, especially in the third sector. And then on the other hand, you have these very, very long straights, some of the longest in the calendar. So what you see a lot of the times is a setup that is heavily stacked towards low drag, which essentially makes the rest of this circuit just a battle against understeer. And quite often, the drivers that cope with it are the ones that emerge out on top.
Nice, yeah, exactly. You said it. And I find as well, the key here on this track, and I'm going to give this information as more of the drivers get out and put some lap times in, is the overall top speed. So we get an idea of the downforce they're running there because of those big long straights that you mentioned. It's crucial, especially once you get into DRS, to see what the speed difference is, because it's if you're going to trade off for those slow having more downforce and lose some of that top end speed, then that might cost you trying to defend yourself down the straight if somebody's got at least a 10 kilometer, and I'm going to work in kilometers per hour advantage.
That is right.
I mean, I was going to say, like, from driving this circuit, I didn't really plan my setup. I just, stole it from someone's TT like many people do. And then combined it with two setups that I thought worked. But, like, generally, you just need something that grips through the turns and has a lot of straight line speed, because going down the second straight is honestly killer if you don't have that traction coming out of the turn. But mainly you can get swallowed up by the cars, and even if you've got overtake, it's not enough. But I was going to say, if you want, anyone who's about to start doing a flying lap, I can take you through it if you want, so you can get people can get an idea of
yep, we are on board right now with the Ferrari of Dick Tucker, so please go right ahead. He's just crossed the start finish line.
Right then, so you want to go into this turn, shift up to second, third. It was that's a bit on the ELP, but you can go up to fourth, and like Dick Tucker goes there, but you want to take an inside line, he goes up into second perfectly, third, fourth, and he's got the gears right, so now he hits the throttle and DRS as he comes down to turn 3. And now you'll be looking to hit the right and left apex, right going over the top, but don't want to bounce over the second one, and all he goes a bit wide. Let's see how he does. He goes a bit, that's pretty good, so shifted up to fourth now to get that rotation, but Dick's taking it a bit cautiously, and I think he's lost a bit of time through there. So now this is where you can lose about 1/10 depending on the exit out of the dome as you come down to the hairpin. So Dick looks like he's alright at the minute, he's at 130 kph. But he's coming up to the hairpin, and you'll be wanting to go down into first gear here, and he does that perfectly and wants to shift up and don't want to get on that exit curve, or if not you're going to spin out. You want to be coming up into this turn going third or fourth, but you ideally need to get over that thing, and he goes a bit wide, and that's not good, and he loses a bit of time. You want to be coming up to this turn about fifth or sixth, shift down to fifth now on the right exit, and then fourth, yes, and he does that perfect shift down to fourth, back up to fifth now as he comes around it, down into second for the next turn or first. Get that bit of extra rotation now as he comes up to the final turn. Now we want to take this in fourth and lift it off as he comes across the line now to do a 136.4.
Big tuck. But as
Yeah,
Chenjay's going to follow him, it looks like Chenjay will take the pole.
yeah.
There it
See
is.
the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when I was speaking earlier about, mediums losing time about 2 seconds. That's the thing. So he's probably not gonna get another lap on those mediums now because he's used it. But if he can keep playing the top 5 on the mediums, and then he's got every chance of winning this race. And those people on the mediums are wanting to do that. But yeah, or was it Legend who did a? I was trying to think back to the DMR Tier 2 race. What did Legend do? Because I think he did like a 134 on the mediums. Like, how the hell has he done that? And I was like, this guy's actually insane on pace because I had to do my lap on the softs in the end.
Well,
But
because he's one thing, he's legendary, that's for sure.
uh-huh.
Shall we say, being legend, he's got to live up to his name, doesn't he? As
What
Yoda.
is it?
Goes faster.
I am legend. What? But yeah,
Let me just bring the names dropping up here.
yeah. Who else? Oh, so we've got 7 minutes left anyway, so we could see many things going on. But we've got.
Yeah, we're seeing a trend of these drivers setting very good laps and then just kind of parking up alongside the track and being disqualified for idling too much. I wonder if that's a statement of prowess and then to kind of relegate oneself to fight through the pack during the rest of the race.
I was gonna say what they're probably wanting to do is they're trying to do the last to first challenge around Vietnam, and that if you want to do that, by all means go ahead. But you're going to be gambling on a safety car to do that because trying to do the last to first around Vietnam is not really recommended. But by all means go it. You can do it in China, of course, because everyone on tire wears there is pretty crap. But around Vietnam, that's a whole other story. But let's see if they can. But the thing is, those 3 guys I would have probably have expected to win the race. But let's see if they can get onto the podium. I think crazy bet that one of them will. So we'll see them at the end how they do.
That'll surely add a lot of excitement to our race. As we know, overtaking around this track is challenging, but very, very possible with these long straights and the very, very hard braking zones. 3 DRS zones on this track as well, 1 on each long straight. But it is so tough to stay behind the car in front through the 3rd sector as well as through these kind of knob-shaped corners here that we see Luis going through. So it'll be a test of might for sure and a test of pace for those drivers, seeing if they can avoid the carnage and carve their way through the field.
Yeah, nobody said Addy striker there. Maybe Addy. Maybe he's improving there a little bit on his time. Where is he currently at the moment? He's entering down into the crazy paperclip corner, shall we say. That's at the end of sector 2. Let's see if he's improved. He's set a personal best. Oh, we have a car stopped on the track.
Yeah, that's the Mercedes of Synth there, and he looked like he had collided with the wall on exit from 11 too.
So Eddie's a little slower on his 2nd sector, but still he can look to improve right now. 11th place. And these tyres, he's got Lewis there behind him. Lewis is not improving on his time. Tyler Garbage is boxing after a fast 1st sector, but didn't improve on his. And Eddie's decided, nope, he wasn't happy with that time. Let's have a look at Solo. Solo, back in P14 at the moment. He's setting a personal best for his 1st sector. Not so quick in the 2nd sector, so he's losing some time there. Oh, actually, sorry. He's setting his personal best, shall we say, 41.9. And still about half a second off Macau's fastest 2nd sector. But still, he can improve from P14. That's by far. If he can hook up that final sector into these final corners and do something for this Haas driver, get him up further up in the grid. He's across the line. And he gets 12, so he gained 2 positions there. At least improving. Going forwards better than going backwards. Good job there. Who else is showing there? Big Puppy. Is Big Puppy going to put in a P7 there? Let's have a look at Big Puppy. He got traffic and he avoided that and dive bombed into the pits. He did first personal best for his 1st and 2nd sector. So just decided he was not going to have enough, but he has plenty of time to get out there and get another lap. Put some fresh boots on. What can Dick Tucker do? He's on that lap, so he's about to start his flying lap. The Perg. Where's the Perg? Well, the Perganator needs to improve. Back at P16 at the moment. So he's currently running plump last. but still on track and can still set a lap, whereas Mikhail, Chenjay, Cynthia, and Freeware, Hennes, and Yoda have all retired from the session.
Now, interestingly enough, we know from Adero's wonderful insights before the race that you can make a one-stop strategy very comfortably going from mediums to hards. So I wonder if we can expect all the drivers that qualify outside of the top 10 to put on the mediums at the start of the race.
I think it's a long haul as well. We can check there with Adito, Adam. We can check on that, but I think it's a long haul because you're guaranteed almost like a virtual safety car or a safety car within the first 5 laps. So if you do try that strategy and you haven't qualified up the front, then you're going to lose track position anyway.
Ooh, Purganator running very, very wide in turn 13. Forgive me for the interruption, but that is his lap over. Just out braking himself on the apex and nearly running into the exit barrier.
Absolutely right. Dick Tucker approved. Track right now. He is coming around the final corners now. He's setting personal bests, 25.7, 40.7. He likes the 0.7s. Crosses the line. P2.
What a time.
There we go. You get for his third sector. I'll be surprised if he got a 0.7 there as well. Really impressive.
Well, the total time, the delta between himself and Yoda is 0.07 of a second. So definitely hitting the jackpot on this one. If he was in a slot machine, he'd probably be bathed in money.
7 thousandths of a second. Is it jackpot time for Dick? Because he's slowing down anyway, so he's going to save those tires. Let's have a look at MJ Prodigy. Pile of Garbage has started his. What are we on time-wise? We still have 1 minute 40 left. Nobody's improving. I'm not seeing greens. Actually, I am. Pile of Garbage is personal best. Seamus personal best. And an Ecock personal best. So P4, P5, P6. Let's have a look where they are on track right now. So Seamus there. So almost Big Puppy was Big Puppy. Big Puppy's ahead there. And Lewis hasn't his time there. So Seamus, Big Puppy. Yeah. So Seamus there. He'll probably be the first one that's going to cross the line with his fastest personal best, shall we say. Didn't set so they're losing a lot of time in the second sector. So there a lot of drivers I'm seeing it lights up green in the sectors. That's obviously showing that they are setting personal bests. But when they're setting whites or reds, obviously really even worse, you're invalidating the lap. So let's see what he's going to cross the line now. He's in P5. Pile of Garbage is improving, but he's further down. Seamus, can he improve any better in P5?
4/10 down on his personal best, unfortunately, as Enoch makes it into P5 in the Alfa Romeo. 1.5 seconds.
Pile of Garbage up P2. There it is.
Wow.
Pile of Garbage improved a lot. Wow.
A mere 100th. Less than 100th, actually. Half a 100th separating Pile of Garbage and Dick Tucker, position 2 and 3 on their flying laps.
Yeah, let's have a look at AJ. AJ's also improving personal best as well. Greens are good. He knows it. Jeff knows it. His fans know it. He's only got a couple more corners. He wants to get further up than P11. I'm showing this pace right now. He could do it. He can get a little bit further up the grid here. Final corner. Come on, AJ. See what you can do. You go a little further up there. And he does. P5. Good job. So the track's improving a lot. This is crucial. Lewis as well is now setting some personal bests. Nobody's in the purples, but greens are good. So let's see what Purganator is not improving. He's in my outlap anyway. Big Puppy, where's Big Puppy? Big Puppy's improved second, middle. I'm not sure Big Puppy's going to have enough pace there to go any quicker. And is he going to do anything there, Big Puppy? Big Puppy P6. Okay, so it's improving. Lewis behind him. Is Lewis going to go even more than that? Where's Lewis? No, he doesn't. So Big Puppy gained a little bit there. Seamus will box. An Ecock will box as well. He did not improving on his time. And I believe that would be it as we've ended the qualifying session. And nobody else is improving on any time. So that'll be the great. Well, what a great finish from some of these drivers.
Absolutely, and just how tight the splits are between positions 1 and 4, and then positions 6 and 8. Literally a tenth of a second between 4 drivers in each case, and that's going to be an almighty battle for them to try to claim the best of their kind of split there, and surely going to be very competitive. Of course, some of our other very, very quick drivers starting from the back of the grid, so they'll be able to surely spice up the action towards the end of the race, but very tight times around a circuit that takes over a minute and a half to complete a single lap on.
5.6 kilometers exactly. It's long. So does this mean because Yoda is disqualified there and so forth, they've retired from the session? They do not get those positions. Is that right? Even though they're still showing us P1 and P4 for Hennes and Schumacher and P11?
You know, I think that Yoda has just retired from the session, not disqualified, so he should be able to start on pole, but Mikau and Chenji and all of those guys definitely will be starting from the back of the grid.
Okay, well, there you go. It's looking good. Just a pile of garbage then on the second row. Dick Tucker on the third row. He's been there before. Hennes on the fourth position. You can run through the grid, obviously, as qualifying will end very, very shortly. 27 seconds, I think. It's actually ended right now.
That's right. That's qualifying in the Vietnam Grand Prix in the books. And let us just run through the final order again. We have Yoda in first place, pile of garbage with the AlphaTauri in second, Dick Tucker and MRL Henner in the second row, Ajay in fifth, Big Poppy in sixth, Enoch in seventh, Louise eighth, Seamus ninth, and Addy rounds out the top 10. The remaining drivers who will likely be able to change their tire strategy to mediums or hards, Schumacher in 11th, Prodigy 12th, Finn 13th, Cirillo in 14th, Steven 15th, Purginator 16th, Mikko, Chenji, Synth, and Freeware disqualifying from the session and filling out the back of the grid. And we are so excited to get the race underway, and we will be back with that very shortly.
Yeah, Adam, who's left us. So we got Jim Bob listening. Hey, Jim Bob, Lois listening as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome, step in and commentate a little bit if you want. No problem. Oh, you guys are watching my stream. Good. Keep it going.
And we are thrilled to welcome everyone back to the Hanoi circuit in Vietnam, the capital of the Southeast Asian country, and a brand new circuit for the F1 calendar. 23 corners, 3 very long straights with DRS zones, and plenty of action sure to come as the drivers begin their warm-up lap. It is once again Savage Team Crossroads, joined by Biggles, and the stage is set for this race. Now, Biggles, where do you think we will want to watch for significant overtaking opportunities throughout this lap?
Well, definitely from the start, because we're not used to seeing some of these drivers right at the front. However, it's fantastic to see them there. And then we're going to see a lot of these fast guys in the rear of the pack. So they're basically going to have to be trying to make their way through, and kind of as you expected as well, they're going to start on a lot of them starting on those medium compounds, so they're expecting to go a lot longer. However, a safety car might compromise some of their strategy, but we're going to see battles from the front, midfield, and from the. It's going to be battles everywhere. It's going to be hard to follow, but we'll try to do our absolute best to keep this carnage in order.
Absolutely, and as these drivers are warming up their tires during their formation lap, we can see the predicted pit stop strategy outlined there underneath. Of course, for those drivers starting on the medium compound, the one stop is available, and we can see of those drivers, there are quite a few. Schumacher in 11th, MLB Prodigy in 12th, Cirillo in 14th, Preginator in 16th, and then Chenji, Synth, and Freeware at the back, all starting on mediums, and even Steven in 15th in the Alfa Romeo, starting on a hard compound of tires. That's a unique case for our field. So definitely divergent strategies all throughout the lineup. And you could imagine with these very, very tight walls, as we have 2 cars being disqualified from the warm-up lap for possibly a collision. We will see them in the race shortly, of course, as they are back on the grid. With these walls being so close, surely the advent of the safety car is not lost upon any of these drivers, and that opens up the possibility for even more strategical scheming.
Definitely not lost. Safety car will most likely be, although I've seen a little bit more virtual safety cars than I have seen real safety cars, although there still will most likely be a real safety car at some point, especially with all these different drivers in different positions. So no doubt they are all hungry to make their way up through the field, and no doubt the drivers that are ahead of them are saying, no, thank you very much. I'm not going to let you pass. I'm here to race, and racing is what I'm going to do as I line up on the grid and get ready for the start of this 5.6 kilometer Vietnamese Grand Prix.
An absolute monster of a lap on this track, and we just are so excited to see how this race gets underway. Green flags from the marshals at the back of the grid, and the lights surely coming on now. We have 3 lights on, 4, 5, and we are off. Lights out, slight desync for the lobby, but the cars are indeed underway, and we see all the cars in the field fanning out. The Red Bull leading the pack right now. That should surely be Yoda, as the timing sheet gets slightly out of sync here. He's got an incredible getaway as the Williams behind him, along with several other drivers, running wide through the first set of corners. And we have a collision in the back as well between a Williams and a Racing Point. The Racing Point of MLB Prodigy, to be exact, and debris flying everywhere from those 2 cars as they make contact.
Yep, exactly right. You said there was a Williams that spun there, so there's definitely contact, but most of the drivers are through clean. And this has gained 2 positions there, and that pile of garbage, unfortunately, had lost 2 positions from the start. But Macau gained 8 positions up to P9, and Chen Jie following him. So somehow they've jumped from the back of the field and all the way up into points positions already.
And Dick Tucker now making a move for second place with no DRS down this long straight into the hairpin of turn 11, hitting the braking point perfectly, going a little bit too close on the curb inside the corner, but making that move work as we have yellow flags and an absolute stampede on the track behind these drivers. 2 Renaults making a sandwich out of the Red Bull of Poppy, who runs very, very close on the apex and collides with pile of garbage's AlphaTauri, spinning around and causing a yellow flag there.
Also, meanwhile as well, Macau and both Chen Jie have gained up into P6 and P7. It's like these guys working together. They're in different teams. One guy's in a Mercedes, one guy's in a Renault. I don't think it makes any difference between these guys. As Seamus has already boxed, he's caused some, so these guys are moving further up the grid there. Solo. Freeware's also gained up 9 positions from there. Synthé as well, but our biggest losers obviously AJ, unfortunately, Finn, Big Puppy, Steven, and they're boxing now early. Get those tires over, get some repairs done on the cars.
Absolutely, as we have Shenji and Henner looking to enter into a proper boxing match of their own, rocketing down the main straight, and so many cars in the pits right now. We've got the Renault of, it looks like, and the SEMA Soul Leader, as well as MRL Finn, putting on a fresh set of mediums, and a yellow flag in Sector 2. As we look to see the Alfa Romeo of Enoch has spun on exit from turn number 9 onto the long straight. That's going to compromise him monumentally, and he is being passed now by 1 car and another. Luis making his way through as well, but doesn't look like there's any damage on the Alfa Romeo. Oh, no, forgive me, there is.
Yeah. He's missing a whole chunk of that wing, I believe, so he might require one of them. It might help him around this track. Won't help you so much on the straights, but definitely going to help you in the corners. So he's going to have to drop back a lot. Unfortunate for him, but only lap 2 of 28. Plenty of racing to go. We've seen drivers come back from almost nowhere to win this race. So don't count him out yet.
Absolutely, and the Racing Point of Emerald Freeware absolutely all over the back of Cirillo's Haas, and he makes a pass in the 3rd sector, doing the unthinkable, driving his rival to go wide and taking the spot from him. And now Cirillo finds himself under siege from his very own teammate, Addy Stryker, who's carrying a lot of pace on those soft tires. And we have a yellow flag in the hairpin once again, and it looks like the AlphaTauri of Progenitor has definitely seen better days here as he fishes himself out of the runoff area there. No damage on his car, however. Very fortunate to see that.
He got stuck in the paperclip corner that I like to call it, because it looks exactly like a paperclip. It's unfortunate for him, but once again, get it over and done with early. If you make a mistake now. At least you'll have a chance further in the race. But these top 3 runners, and I'm surprising to see Mikhail's already up in the P4 there. Mikhail's on a different strategy to Chenjay. Chenjay's on the mediums, whereas Mikhail is on the softs. Henna's ahead of him. Dick Tucker and Yoda obviously are currently leader. They're all on the soft tires. So this is looking good for Chenjay, Prodigy, and Freeware and Solo still on there. It's Ad Striker, his teammate, Addy just gets past Solo, so maybe there's team orders between those 2 drivers, the Haas drivers, because obviously Solo can go a lot deeper into the race, whereas Addy needs to get on with it with those softs.
That's right.
Yep.
2 sets of teammates, the Racing Points and the Haas's, both completing changes of position into that hairpin, and we are now on board with Luis a little bit farther in the back. He has, of course, just completed a pit stop, and he is looking to get past the McLaren of MRL Finn, launching a move down the outside, letting his rival outbrake himself, trying to crisscross, but that move not working out for him. That exit curb is so very slippery, and the Williams remains in 16th for the time being. Now, these drivers that have just stopped, they're going to be on fresher tires, and they're going to be able to extend their stint slightly compared to those in front of them that have not yet pitted on the opening lap. And should there be a safety car of any sort, that's going to enable those front runners to get what is practically a free pit stop. We're going to go on board now with the Ferrari of Dick Tucker, who is exploring the inner reaches of Yoda's rear diffuser, only 8/10 down behind the driver leading our race currently, but he is conserving his overtake, the Ferrari driver, and not looking particularly keen on making a move into this hairpin just yet. Getting right up to the back of the Red Bull and potentially sending one down the outside. Very brave on the brakes. And just getting squeezed out ever so slightly wide by the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, that's where you see a pass into that corner, and they do. So, I mean, the interesting strategies that are occurring there. It looks like, well, that's not actually the correct battle there, but it's, yeah. Showing my telemetry showing something different there. But yeah, this is definitely the closest battle on there. Cynthia is also putting a little bit of pressure on Big Puppy, but Dick Tucker wants that, and it's only a matter of time. We've seen some front runners boxing already on those softs, whether or not they had some damage. What was interesting as well is I saw another driver who was already on the medium tires that boxed. I'll get back to you on that one. So I'm trying to pull up some other information.
And we're looking at Big Poppy trying to launch a move on Cirillo as well. The Haas driver struggling substantially on that set of mediums to keep pace with all the soft running drivers, especially through this third sector where tire grip is so very essential. And we've got a safety car on the track, and we are not sure what the cause of this safety car is just yet, but that is a full course yellow, and drivers must maintain their positions. Very unfortunate for Big Poppy, who looked to be able to line up a move down the start-finish straight and unable to complete that move due to the caution.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that was caused by. I saw Chenjay was slow on track, but he was in the pits, unless he had an accident somewhere in the pits, but he's gone in and he's exited, so he's decided to go back onto the softs, so there's no way you're going to make those go to the end. He just wants some pace. Now, there's going to be a free pit stop in the lead. Henna's in the pits, Schumacher's. Henna's in the pits again. This is the thing that I was mentioning before, actually. Henna's had done three laps on those soft tires, and now he's gone to the hards. He's going to go to the end with a different strategy. Schumacher's in the pits. Finn is coming around the final corner. No, he's already on the hards, and go different strategy there. For him, he's already boxed twice now anyway. So, and the rest of the drivers are pretty far away now, as our last place man is essentially going to get lapped. Can you lap another safety car? I don't believe they're boxing anyway. So there we go. So Yoda's boxing, Dick's boxing, Mikhail's boxing. Freeway a little further down the road now. Still, he's into the final sector. There's a bit of a gap now that's forming between some of these drivers. And Freeware is going to box. Yep, Addy's now P5. Addy's got, yeah, definitely will have to box and get rid of those tires. Now, Schumacher should be able to stay out, but he's already being a lap down almost anywhere. Freeware, Cynthia. Chenjay. Let's have a look at Chenjay. Chenjay boxed before. Chenjay's going to stay out on track, but Chenjay will still lose a lot of positions as Yoda, obviously, and the other leaders will remain in those positions. Yoda comes back out, fresh tires, Dick Tucker, Macau, Solo. Now, Solo, am I seeing the right telemetry here? P4. I'm not seeing that telemetry correctly.
The telemetry is definitely seeming to throw us quite the curveball as I'm watching the driver order just shuffle consistently. There must be some sort of detection problems out on track, and the running order of the cars constantly being shuffled. Makes your job only that much more difficult, but if anyone can do it, it is definitely our very own Diggles, and sift through all of that glitchiness and all that nonsense.
Nightmarish, should we say.
You can see the safety car has picked up the leaders. It took it nearly a full lap as the leaders have crossed the start-finish line right at the moment that the safety car was deployed. But we can confirm that we have all 20 drivers still running in this race, which is really impressive around a tight road course such as this. We commend the drivers for such an impressive performance. And it looks to be that MRL Freeware, who started from all the way in the back, has made his way into 4th and somehow, miraculously, has a brand new set of mediums to boast as well. So he's definitely made a lot of gains in the chaos after the start of this race.
Absolutely crazy. Yes, a safety car for a non-retirement car. So that's an interesting one there, Codemasters. Not seen that before. Maybe there was actually there could have been some damage on the track. There was some carbon fiber parts everywhere. So perhaps they decided the safety car so that those artificial marshals can put their artificial characters at risk, their avatars, shall we say, at risk to run out on track and pick up that bit of carbon fiber and then return back to the side of the track safely.
And we appreciate our volunteers very much, whether they be virtual or not, all to keep the track clean, to keep the drivers safe, and to keep the intrigue going. So the running order at the moment on track looks to be Yoda in first, despite what that timetable may tell you on the left. Dick Tucker in second. Cirillo running in not third, because he's got an AlphaTauri in front of him on track currently, and that would be the AlphaTauri of Progenitor. Oh, he might just be lapped. He might be a lap behind. That is most likely why. So Cirillo is in third place. MRL Freeware, of course, in fourth, looking to absolutely pounce on these cars ahead of him. And Chenjay running immediately behind him in fifth.
Oh, great. Glad I caught you at the end of that. I just had to bolt off quickly to get a beer. It was very important on the safety car. It's the only time I can get a chance to scoot out and grab a nice cold one.
Make sure to stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, of course, because we're already on lap 7:28. We're already seeing some fantastic racing. And certainly, as kind of expected, these Mr. Macau there, Freeware, Chenjay, all coming out of nowhere, blistering up into the crucial points position. I don't even know how they managed to get
it looks like actually Macau, who we were just speaking of, either had a desync or suffered a spin through turn number 8, and he's currently trying to get his car spun around. He's in 19. I'm not sure what happened there, but he found himself facing the wrong direction quite unexpectedly.
Ooh, was that commentator's curse on the poor Macau there? I hope not. He's a fellow Australian. I can't do that to him. I'll not hear the end of that. Our safety car will be in this lap as expected. So let's go through the strategies here. So Chenjay, the only one running right now in the top 10, Prodigy, Chenjay and Prodigy, Emerald B Prodigy there. The only guys running on the soft compounds. So obviously they get those heat in those tires, they should be able to get a great advantage and get a great launch off the start here and put a lot of pressure onto, especially their Addy Striker there on the hards is going to come under a lot of pressure from Pile of Garbage there, because Pile of Garbage is going to be nice, warm, medium tire compound. You know, these hards can go a long way, but they got to get temperature into them as they're about to start again.
And our leaders on the medium tire, we can see how much understeer they were getting through the final set of corners. MRL Freeware having an absolute field day with the Haas driver in front of him, who was the lapped car, but he himself getting passed by Chenjay, nearly losing his rear end, and the Renault driver, who is on a set of softs, taking the advantage he had with tire temperatures after the safety car restart and absolutely mugging Freeware of his position. Yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is MRL Finn losing his car on those hard tires that you were just speaking of, and then just losing a ton of positions compared to his rivals. Meanwhile, his teammate, Ajay, looking to sneak a move past the Alfa Romeo of Steven, who locks up into the end of that straight. And is that a move done for the McLaren driver? It does definitely look so, as he moves himself up into 13th place.
Lots of carnage on the restart, as we expect. This looks like Seamus there in the McLaren. Is it McLaren? He makes a move there past the racing point, moves him up at a P9. There's also Addy's making a move there on Solo. I'm surprised that Addy on those hard tires is making it stick there, but he's got pressure. It's his teammate.
And he's compromised his teammate on exit, and now he finds himself under attack from Pile of Garbage in the AlphaTauri, nearly getting past the driver and making slight contact on the exit curve there.
Crazy, it's fun, but Chenjay's still hanging in there on the back now. Chenko can be next, but Pile of Garbage is ready to make a move, and this is the squabble that we saw behind. He's right behind Solo there, ready to put a pile of garbage on the back of Solo. Solo's boxed, so that means Pile of Garbage should jump back up there. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. That's not showing the telemetry there correctly. Pile of Garbage should be moving up the way there. And Chenjay ready to pounce on his fellow league friend, shall we say? Well, not friends today. The enemies are on track, and that's Macau on the wall. The Macau has cooked it, and Macau has done a lot of damage there. I'm surprised he still managed to regain on track. Why is he having so much struggling right now in that Mercedes?
That is definitely a mystery, as Pile of Garbage makes a move on the front-running Haas driver of Addy Striker, and that tire advantage all his right now, and that pair is backing up the rest of that pack, including Seamus and Big Poppy running immediately behind them. So it'll be crucial to see how the Renault driver is able to take advantage of that Haas's tire at the very moment. Now, of course, the Haas going to the end, and Seamus has to take care of those tires to have even a prayer of getting to the finish. But he has to attack, because if he doesn't, he's going to get consumed by the car behind, and he collides with the Haas driver, sending him into his teammate, nearly spinning, and significant front wing damage for the Renault driver as well. Disaster through the hairpin for this pair of drivers here, and now Big Poppy is going to have a substantial grip advantage through this final sector. The Renault squirming under, braking, nearly colliding with the wall with a substantial lack of downforce on the front. Will he be able to stay ahead of the Red Bull driver, or will he be able to send it perhaps around the outside or the inside of one of these corners? The Red Bull ducks to the outside, takes a late apex, and the Renault dives into the pits.
Yep, dives in the pits as well. Joining Macau, having to fix a lot of damage there. Hennis has retired from the session. He's not having much luck lately. I believe he also retired from another Vietnamese race that he was in the other day there. But good job there from Big Puppy. Now, Chenjay's really close there now to Dick Tucker there. So he's ready to make a run. That's the Renault in P3. Dick Tucker's the Ferrari in P2. We've seen Dick Tucker's very good at defending here. He has to try to keep the very fast-paced Chenjay as he locks up a little bit there. And they're also catching Yoda up ahead.
Chenjay thinks about creeping up on the inside of this corner, thinks better of it, and he's going to take advantage of this very, very long DRS straight. Chenjay's got overtake for days in his battery, plenty of charge left there, but Dick Tucker crucially getting DRS off of Yoda, who is leading directly in front of him. Both of these cars slingshotting each other towards the leader, and the Renault driver sends a dive bomb down the inside. Very clean and very precise on the brakes. Absolutely steals the second position from Dick Tucker, and now he'll be looking to hunt down the race leader.
Yep, there's a tire difference right there. There's the soft compounds. When you make them work You make him work, you just get that so much more grip exiting out of the corners, and that's exactly what he had. And he obviously has the straight line speed there as well to keep up the pace. But now he's got to work on Yoda, and now he has to get up ahead of him because he's going to lose out in the pit stops because he can't run as long as these guys unless he has some sort of magical Yoda powers. Shinjay had the powers, actually, not Yoda. Yoda might have the powers to last even longer. As Finn moves up into P11, or Solo there, so a little bit of midfield action happening there again. Different tire strategies once again. That is Solo that manages to get past Finn. That would make sense because Solo is boxed and put some fresh softs on. So he should have no problems getting past the 5-lap medium runner of Finn. And that's the Haas driver up into P11.
And Yoda in the Red Bull Racing trying to clog up Chen-Jay's lines throughout these various corners, trying to put him under siege from the Ferrari driver, and they collide. MRL Chen-Jay and Dick Tucker collide into turn number 6, and the Ferrari driver loses out significantly.
Ooh, what happened there?
It was a bit too optimistic. Yeah, because
Welcome
literally, you've got the straight coming up. You don't really want to be overtaken there. And yes, I am back. I was doing a bit of pit lane walking, and I seem to have got lost in, you know, the Vietnamese culture and cuisine. So
yes, you did. I'm sure you'll be probably had to run. How did you manage to get across the track with all that pit lane activity? It'd be hard to get from the pit wall all the way back to the pit garage without getting hit by a car.
I mean, have you ever watched the Top Gear special in Vietnam? That explains your answer. I used a scooter.
I will have to watch that one. Sinthe, looks like Schumacher and Sinthe are battling here. That's the other Ferrari driver. This is not looking good for Ferrari. He's dropped back to P10 now. So this is not Ferrari's. Dre's off from the side of the track. Ferrari, at the moment, you can just see the whole on the pit wall. Their hands are in there, and they're face palming themselves right now, going, "What the hell is going on with our drivers? Both making bad decisions just in the same lap."
I was going to say, the thing is with Dick Tucker there, he literally just went for a move that didn't need to be made because he could have easily got Chen-Jay on the straight, so he didn't really need to go in for like...
Prodigy's going to be in the back, sorry to cut you off, on Sinthe. So many battles in here. Schumacher boxes obviously got some damage there. Synthe's running in P8. He's the other Mercedes driver. This is not Mercedes day as well, as it looks like Prodigy goes, "Thank you very much. I shall take that." The Racing Point moves up into P8. And that is another bag as Macau, his teammate behind the other Mercedes driver, who also had a few spins there. We saw him in the safety car as well, having a spin. And then when the race resumed, he had another spin. He's on the hard tires now. So Mercedes day and Ferrari and Mercedes, it's not their day right now, that's for sure.
Well, you know, it doesn't look like Sinthe is looking to go down without another swing, and he's trying to stay within the DRS window of Prodigy, knowing that the latter's soft tires will start to come off eventually. Now, he's 1.2 seconds behind, but where was he in the detection zone? Will he be able to open up his rear wing to get a little closer on the straight? The clock is on his side if he can just maintain a shouting distance to the Racing Point driver.
A shouting distance, is that? So what is the shouting distance? Obviously, they can hear you over the engines, right?
You know, I think it depends on what sort of amplification we're using. And Louise retiring from the session now. I'm trying to find where his car seems to be beached on the exit of turn 9.
Yep.
Right,
I think, what do you call that, Adrian? That big circle corner there? I can't remember what you called that one before.
I don't actually have a name for it. I literally just
no, you did have a name before. What?
What do you mean, big circle one? Do you mean like...
the big circle one kind of thing.
Do you mean the fling, state, well, you know, no grip turn or turn of death?
It looks like a test tube, the bottom of a test tube kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a thermometer.
Slingshot corner.
Test tube corner, I guess.
Slingshot corner.
Slingshot. Here, pile of garbage is boxed. This is a virtual safety car, so good time. They're close to the pit lane anyway. What can Finn, AJ, and Ocon, they know they're going to stay out. So this is a nice little strategy that's worked out there for pile of garbage. He's managed to box, come back out in P8, and got some fresh boots on there. So pile of garbage, as we know. Yep.
I was going to say, what I've noticed so far is literally no one's gone for the one stop. Oh my god, pile of garbage and thingamajig going close to close.
I think we just get a pile of garbage, a little commentator's curse. He got a virtual safety car speeding violation.
So that means the drive-through for him already.
Yeah, he'll have to serve that or get 5 seconds added at the end of the time. Prodigy and once he gets moving up there. So that's the pink Mercedes there. He's got power. He's got pressure from the Renault, but he's got past the Renault there. Fresher tyres, only by 2 laps, but still. And Neacock and Finn are battling it out there. Neacock right now is in the middle of a McLaren sandwich.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
I mean, the McLaren doesn't really want to be in the DRS zone because looks like the Alpha's going to actually have that, and it looks like he's going to make an easy job of it coming down to the hairpin. So now, if he actually opens the DRS, yes, he does. Will he go to the outside or the inside? I'm pretty sure he's going to go to the outside, and that's going to be an easy move on the McLaren there as he goes up the inside and gets it done.
Oh,
the
easier said than done. And the McLaren driver hangs it around the outside on that medium compound. And he defends his position very valiantly, shoving that Alfa Romeo right back into 12th place.
Yep,
Well,
finger
it's
wagging out in the cockpit saying, no, 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 no move for you yet, sir. You'll have to wait
No,
your turn.
No, it's leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
And we're on board with Pile of Garbage now in the AlphaTauri, undaunted by his time penalty, making a move into turn 1 on the Mercedes of Synth. Almost looks like not for the first time this race. I feel like these two guys have been battling it out lap after lap, and Pile of Garbage moving his AlphaTauri into 7th position.
Not bad, yep. That's Pile of Garbage. We know Pile of Garbage has got a lot of pace. And the fans, unfortunately, we don't see a lot of the fans. Where's all the Pile fans? Anyway, there's lots of action. Freeware still battling it in there. He's keeping in there behind Yoda. Chenjay's got a nice build leak right now. That's 4.9 seconds, but Chenjay will have the box. So 9 laps on those softs. We can check with Adrian there. Well, how many laps can you do on those soft tires? I'm not 100% sure. Everybody else behind, not too bad in the tire strategy there as well. Pile of Garbage once again has got fresh rubber, so this is the time right now. Izzy 9 halfway there. 2 more DNF before the end. We'll check that, Izzy. Hope not. There's 2 so far. But so far, yeah, we are exactly halfway through the race, practically right now, and we've just seen so much action. And they bunched up quite well. It looks like Schumacher. Where's Schumacher right now? Schumacher's going to make a pass there. We didn't mention much of Schumacher there. And he gets past Solo there, so that's up in P15 there for the Ferrari driver. Of Jedi, I think it is.
Locking up just ever so slightly into the hairpin, but definitely job done for him as the Alfa Romeo driver Enoch still looking to size up the leading McLaren. Now this triple, of course, Emerald Finn falling behind after. Ooh, and we've got AJ going into the pits by the looks of it to change his tires. Or is it to repair damage?
There's AJ. I'll check that one out for you.
His
there.
tires are brand new. This could not be just a strategy, could it?
You might be serving a penalty. I'm going to keep an eye on that. So far on my radio messages,
that's
AJ
a front wing the lead mechanic has in his hands.
Yep. You forgot to take the other front wing on, but that's okay. Slap that one on top of it. It'll work right. And some fresh medium compound tires on there. So AJ, unfortunately, but will drop all the way back to P16. Prodigy is also boxed as well. Prodigy will come out just ahead of him. You can see the racing point going, oh, God damn it. My team could have been a little bit quicker and I would have jumped in the pits, but they didn't. And Prodigy is on a different compound strategy, but 0 laps on those mediums, fresh mediums. AJ had a 38.4 second pit stop, so not the kind of pit stop time. There's somebody spun around. That's Prodigy. So Prodigy's lost it completely out of the box, realizing that it takes a little bit more to get those hard tires. Go ahead.
And we just saw a little bit of contact between Seamus and Addy Stryker into the hairpin. Seamus getting a little bit too ambitious on the brakes as Addy and Synth went side by side and just hitting the rear of the Haas with the front left side of his front wing, and carbon fiber definitely flew off of the Renault driver's car. Now, he seems to be holding up okay through the 3rd sector, but that's going to take a toll on his pace in the long run. He's got the Mercedes locking up in front of him, running the medium tire, and the Haas on his own set of mediums, or sorry, forgive me, on a set of hards, making a quick getaway.
Out of the pits is Dick Tucker and Macau. I think Dick Tucker still managed to keep ahead there in Macau. That was going to be close there for a second. As Pile of Garbage is also boxing right now. It looks like what happened there. Dick Tucker must have served a penalty. 32 seconds. Pile of Garbage to 28 seconds in the pit. So Dick Tucker, not quite sure. He had a very long pit stop, and that's cost him there. back into P5. Mikhail's moved up into P6. Lots of action on track. Lots to keep on there. Big shout out there for Ezzy9Time to subscribe there. So thank you very much there, sir. Thank you for the cheese, shall we say. Good job. And we've heard Ezzy before. Fabulous commentator. The LOR. He is the LOR, shall we say. Without Ezzy, there is no LOR. Meanwhile, lots of battles on track.
That's right. The Renault of Seamus looking to make a counterattack and looking to make amends into the hairpin, breaking late against the Mercedes of Synth, leaving him enough room on the inside, clipping the exit curb just ever so slightly, but that is the move done for the Renault driver. And we can see right now that end plate missing from his front wing, but that did not stop him from making that pass on his rival. We're going to jump back with MRL Finn in the McLaren, who's trying to make a move on the Haas of Cirillo. MRL running the hard compound of tire, and he is making that move happen. His tire's 11 laps of age, and he managed to get past the Haas driver, who is on brand new mediums. Very impressive pace from him.
Super impressive. Lap 17:28. Once again, lots of battles forming there. Solo still might come back in. This is the time if you're going to do it. Otherwise, that driver's going to be further off on the road. He does have the fresher tires, as you mentioned. It's amazing there from Finn to get past there. Having hard tires, getting them up to temperature and getting past the McLaren driver. But he's going to try to do anything right now. Now's the time to do it. Is he going to try to make it up the inside? No, he has to lift a little bit. Oh, they're on track right now. So they've gone through. Go down the bottom right now into the first corner. Kind of like a hairshue corner here.
Is he going to try to make it down the inside? Surely not. But the McLaren driver's leaving him the space. Not able to take advantage of it, but he's got such a good exit out of the corner and smashing that overtake, or the DRS open, the overtake actually keeping it off, looking to take advantage of the DRS down the following straight and tucking back behind his rival into this corner as the McLaren driver goes way too deep into the opening corner. The Haas nearly suffering oversteer and trying to make it down the inside on corner exit. That's going to compromise his run down the straight.
Yeah, that's fun. Meanwhile, up ahead, there was some action as well. I don't know if I see exactly what it was. I think it was between the driver of Addy and Pilot Garbage. I mean, Pilot Garbage lost place there to Addy Striker. Lots of action going on. We had to keep a hold of it all.
And the Haas
getting very close now to freeware as well.
Forgive me, the Haas of Cirillo getting a really good run out of the hairpin, and he makes the move count against the McLaren driver as we will jump on board really briefly with Dick Tucker in the Ferrari on a set of mediums, closing down Big Papi, who's on a much, much older set. And the Ferrari looks like it has all sorts of pace right now. So many battles here in the field. It is impossible to keep track of them all, but we are actively trying as Dick fakes a move down the inside, thinks better of it, tucks back into the slipstream, and it's going to be crucial what kind of exit he can get out of this corner, putting that brand new set of mediums to work, and he looks like he has all sorts of momentum. Closing, 3/10, 2/10. That gap is absolutely disappearing, and the DRS hasn't even opened yet. Now he pushes the overtake and absolutely smokes the Red Bull racing car, pulling a couple of bus lengths on him over the course of the straight, just for good measure, and that's the move done.
Yep, Dick Tucker, very good. Absolutely smokes and bus lengths. That's what you want to hear if you're a Ferrari driver right now, moving up into P4. So getting the job done, Big Papi has to think about his tires right now. It can't cost him. Dick Tucker's last lap, 139.5. Big Papi's 141.7. So I'm sure Jeff's on the radio going, I think it's time to box there, Big Papi. But I'll make a call. As Freeware decides to listen to Jeff and Yoda decide to listen to Jeff, that's P2 and P3. Now they're going to have a pit lane battle between those two guys. Freeware and Yoda. Chenjay staying out. Chenjay already boxed earlier, so he's got fresh tires, so he chose to box early, and that's worked for him. And he set a blistering lap too on the last lap, no, one of the laps before, sorry. So Chenjay leading by 9.3 seconds now, just a race of his own. And Dick Tucker kicking himself from that mistake. Yep.
Forgive me, Pile of Garbage made an inside move onto the Renault of Seamus, who then in turn collided with the Mercedes of, I believe it was it Macau or was it Synth? It was Macau. It was our championship leader, and the two absolutely sent each other off the track on corner exit from turn 1. That was severe contact for the Renault driver. We're going to take a look and see if he has any damage. He does.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Did you say Pile of Garbage has some damage there?
No. Pile of Garbage was the one who made
Jesus.
a serious profit off of that mistake from the Renault driver, gaining 2 spots for the price of 1 into the first corner.
Yeah, someone says fresh rubber there as well, but 8 laps now. Starting to wear, but they don't wear as quickly, obviously, being lower fuel loads, but still got a lot of racing to do. Still at least 10 laps here to go, so make those hard tires go toward the end. We saw Chenjay could pull 13 laps out of them before he decided there was enough. And Nook is the other guy right now running 10 laps on those tires. 9 laps is showing the telemetry. My telemetry showing 10, 9, 10, close enough. What else is happening there on track? MLB is boxing again. So these are some of the guys that are just not happy. We're definitely seeing a lot of 3 stops. The only person right now is Big Puppy. Now, Big Puppy has only made 1 stop. He went on from the softs to the mediums. He's now done 14 laps on the mediums. It was Big Puppy's last time. 141 flat. Not a bad time. Competitive there. Only Dick Tucker was about, apart from Chenjay, only Dick Tucker was a bit quicker there. 39 flat. So still competitive there. Big Puppy still has to just hang in there. 29 seconds off the leader. But obviously 4.7 seconds away from Dick Tucker. But a lot of space there between him and Pile of Garbage. 13 seconds. Pile of Garbage is away, so he could afford to lose almost a second a lap to Pile of Garbage at the moment if he likes.
Quite the gap indeed, as we saw the only remaining Haas of Addy Stryker make a move on to MRL Finn into the hairpin and get away with it despite full course yellows. And
that's Solo. Yeah, Solo's retired.
That's right.
On the test tube corner, shall we say. That's unfortunately him. P16, he is out of the race, and that caused that yellow there for a second. But we don't have a safety car. We are racing lap 2028.
The McLaren driver, MRL Finn. Oh, as it looks like Mikau has another incident with Addy Stryker in that very same first corner. That corner is not treating him all that well at the moment. That's 2 consecutive laps where he has suffered contact. And I was just about to say the other MRL driver, Finn, in the McLaren, also colliding with the wall on exit from the final corner and sending a little bit of carbon fiber skyward. These 2 drivers are definitely...
Yeah, I think Mikhail's having one of these races where when he gets home from the return to Australia from this Vietnamese, I think he's going to get the rubber out and just erase Vietnam from his passport because he just does not want to remember this trip at all. He's not having the usual Mikhail dominant, shall we say, the supreme Mikhail performance that he's having. He's just having just lots of nightmares, lots of spins, lots of carnage. And yeah, once again, he's going to want to erase this race from his passport anytime soon. Virtual safety car. What was that caused by? Check the race
that looks like MRL Finn having retired along that long back straight. And that car has been very quickly evacuated, but that's the end of his race. He was definitely not having a very good one, but it's still very sad to see him go.
It is unfortunate. We're losing MRL, guys. What's going on? MRL Finn gone, MRL Prodigy, or MLB, sorry, Prodigy, Lewis, MRL Hennes. So we don't lose any more. Obviously, MRL Macau having big struggling issues, but still MRL Chenjay saying, don't worry about that, guys. I'm still leading this race. And I'm not just leading this race, I'm dominating this race by 9 seconds at the moment. Dick Tucker hanging in there and the different tire strategies, but Dick Tucker's got the 5 laps on the medium, so I don't think now that those tires are really going to be a problem there from Chenjay or Yoda or any other driver, apart from Freeway having fresh tires. So Freeway can just absolutely turn everything he has up right now, running in P4 and the pink Mercedes.
That's right, looking on board with a J, he's gaining very dramatically on the Ferrari of Schumacher, who's running in the final points paying position at the moment. The McLaren having DRS down the straight, the Ferrari having to go defensive into the hairpin. Might not be close enough to send it just yet, but the McLaren driver in a J having a lot of pace right now on that medium tire, down to 4/10, 3/10 this gap, and this gap was over a second just mere moments ago. The Ferrari driver going just a little bit wide, locking up his front right into the start of the third sector.
Yeah, this is AJ in the McLaren. He's like, move over, Mr. Schumacher. Move over, Mr. 7 times world champion. There is a new man in town, and it's LOR AJ, as he's just making this McLaren fly. He's essentially almost move over Lando Norris as well. We have AJ in this McLaren. And what can he do about the Ferrari driver? Ferrari driver has the fresh tires, but AJ's got the pace. So 147 for AJ in that last lap, or 149 for Schumacher. So Schumacher's got to be feeling the pressure right now. I'm showing Schumacher's telemetry is showing he has 10 laps on those softs, even though the screen is showing 1 lap. So I believe the 10 lap might be actually making sense considering the amount of pace that Schumacher does not have, shall we say, right now.
And you know, it's very strange because Jay closed that gap, or AJ, as you said, has closed that gap very significantly through the middle part of the previous lap, but then losing out significantly throughout the Sector 3 and then Sector 1, and that gap back to over 2 seconds now for those two drivers. So it might have just been a significant error for the Ferrari driver, perhaps on exit from Turn 9, that caused that very slow lap.
Maybe Jeff's gone on the radio saying, hey, they're telling you to, these guys are watching you. Pick up the pace now. Stop sandbagging. Who knows? Big Puppy was getting close there too to Macau. But Macau's probably said, come on, and luring him in a little bit, and then just put his foot to the floor a little bit. But we
got a virtual safety car on the track.
Oh, that's Yoda. Yoda from P2 is in the wall, I believe, and he's already out of this race. Oh, that was unfortunate to miss that. But then again, he was so far behind Chenjo. Yoda's decided that the force was not in him, was not with you, shall we say, Master Yoda, unfortunately. And you've retired to the dark side. Definitely there. I'm sure that you haven't heard that. That's not the first time you've heard that one, Mr. Yoda. And it won't be the last time you hear it either. And unfortunately, your race is over. Bit of a lonely one, actually, there behind Chenjay. Not sure you've been catching there, but this is good for Dick Tucker. Up to P2. But Freeware, look at Freeware. It's come out of nowhere. He's going to put a lot of pressure right now on Dick Tucker. And he does. Is he going to make it stick? That's the Racing Point driver up into P2. Look at that.
Wow.
Where did Freeware come out? I knew he had those fresh tires, but meanwhile, we were paying attention to these other battles, and Freeware's just like, hey guys, don't forget about me. I'm racing it, the German driver. Hey, there's a lot of pace. And you can see that beautiful German driver, German colored flag helmet there. He's running board there, man. He's already leaving Dick Tucker almost down the road there. 1.5. Where the hell is he pulling this pace out of? I think we have to check the cheat codes. This Freeware's almost pulled 2 seconds over Dick Tucker in a matter of 4 or 5 corners. Wow. Could he put the pressure on Chenjay then? 24 seconds behind. Is this a new Chenjay's might have a new threat here? I mean, I don't think it's possible, but at this pace that Freeware's doing, let's have a look at his lap times. And you can see this. Freeware's last lap, a 142.2. Chenjay, 145.8. If he can gain 3 seconds a lap, what are we on, 24 or 28? He's still not going to have enough time. But I think Chenjay was kind of maybe sleeping, almost asleep at the wheel right there. Maybe he's going to get a wake-up call.
You are very correct, because after all, driving all by oneself around a track such as this does induce a little bit of a drop of the guard, so to speak. And
sorry to get dropped. It looks like AJ's going to. Oh no, I thought there for a second that telemetry would get out of there. It looked like AJ was within 0.1.
Oh,
and he is. Eddie Striker's made a huge mistake. He's dropped back to P12. What happened there with the Haas? Lots of action there with that little midfield squabble that's going on, but they're all points. They're crucial points. Synthe's dropped out to the pits there, but he's out of the championship points. But these are championship points up for stake here. Well, actually, no, they're just out there. AJ, oh yeah, they can, as Addy can get a crucial point there, but 1.1 second. We'll also keep an eye on Freeware's time to the leader, but he has a lot of work to do in 4 laps.
Now that gap to Chenjay doesn't look to be changing at too rapid of a rate, and in fact, looks like Freeware is falling behind now, 25 seconds back on the Renault driver.
Yeah, I think Freeware's Chenjay has got the call from Jeff, like, okay, once again, turn off your pit speed limiter, and now start driving the car at regular speed. So 136.8 was Chenjay's last lap. 137.1. Yeah, Chenjay was definitely sandbagging. He's having fun. He's trying to build up our hope, even give us some entertainment. It looks like Macau's got very, very close right now to Polar Garbage. You don't want to do it, Macau. You have you seen Polar Garbage's fans out there? It could cost you. They're going to be waiting for you outside the track. They'll be waiting for you before you board the plane back to Australia. You don't want to mess with his fans. We'll have to see if Macau will risk it. Macau's been recovering. Oh, it's passing it back marker. And is Macau going to make it stick? Bust the Polar Garbage. I'll let you commentate this one.
Well, you know, I'm not sure if I'm completely out of sync here, but on my screen, the two drivers are actually not very close to each other. I'm not entirely sure what's going on the timing, but that might just be a desync.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. You don't see Polar Garbage on the feed there. That's weird.
No.
So anyway, it looks like Macau's made that move past Polar Garbage. That is unfortunate. You didn't see that. It made it look very easy, actually. Macau's moved up into P4 there. Polar Garbage has dropped back down into P5. Polar Garbage also, I'm showing in telemetry, as having 10 laps on those medium compounds, whereas Macau has fresh rubber there. So 5 laps. So we know Macau's pace was good before he disqualified from qualifying. So Macau's last lap at 136.7, Polar Garbage at 139.7. So yeah, don't need to know too much math to know that if you're losing 3 seconds a lap, you're in big trouble right now. But Polar Garbage can still pick up some crucial points. Big Puppy's 5 seconds behind him, 2 laps to go. All he has to do is keep a Big Puppy behind him, and Polar Garbage can pick up P5.
And you know, on my display here, I'm seeing Macau actually immediately behind Pile of Garbage in 5th here, as well as the Red Bull of Big Poppy chasing him. And I'm not sure if these numbers are correct, but on the track it definitely looks that close. So we'll keep an eye on this battle and see if it develops into anything, because Big Poppy looks to be coming at him with a vengeance. Look at how rapid that Red Bull car is. He's got a phenomenal exit. He's going to make a move down the straight, just giving him a bump draft here, moving to the right side, jamming that Mercedes against the wall, and opening that DRS. Let's see if he can make the move stick around the outside of the hairpin. He goes to the outside and makes the pass. Very, very strange scenes here.
Yeah, this is so crazy. I'm not even seeing that whatsoever. I'm seeing Macau just driving a lonely race right now, as you were seeing that action before that I was commenting on. This is very strange. It's telemetry showing me that Macau's in P4 and Polar Garbage is behind him. Big Puppy's 4 point something seconds. Well, anyway, you can only commentate on what you can see, and it sure looked exciting from what I'm seeing, what you can see. So, well, whether or not it's real or not, we can just enjoy what we can see.
Absolutely. A general can only be as good as his intel, and well, we're liking what we're seeing here, so we'll just keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. You call it right there. So it looks like lots of stops. I think Adam was saying before, like, you know, be interested to see anybody takes a one-stop strategy. I don't think I've ever seen anybody take a one-stop strategy around this Vietnamese track, actually, because we are. And if they do, that would be absolutely hats off to them, because that would be a big call. The minimum we've seen is 2 stops from Chenjay, Big Poppy, Steven. We forgot about little Steven there. Steven's been quite, sorry, not little, sorry, Steven, just Steven, running in P12. But Steven's been running 17 laps there on those hards, so he's decided to take those hards to the end. However, 144, he's compromised his times, 144. 1 minute 44 per average lap there, shall we say, on those hards, costing him a lot of time, but still in it to win it, and that's good. And that was it. That's actually, and the other drivers had retired. So only 3 drivers taking the 2-stop pit strategy, and the rest of them taking 3 stops. Sure, there's a lot of wing changes, time penalties, and overall penalties. I'll update you with the penalty situation as well on the last lap. Freeware has 3 seconds time penalty. That will not affect his position. He will finish P2. Further down, they've all been good boys. Anuk, P9. He has 3 seconds time penalties, but he will not. Oh, AJ can finish, actually. Let's look at this. AJ needs to finish within 3 seconds of Anuk, and he can pass him. So AJ, LOR AJ, P10. If he can keep these 2.5 seconds, keep within 3 seconds, he will earn 9th position for the McLaren driver.
And we are going to go on board with our race leader, MRL Chenje, through the final sector of the final lap of the Vietnam Grand Prix. The leaderboard at the left maybe have been jumping around throughout this race, and he goes into the pits on my screen. Very interesting move to finish out a race. Shouldn't matter, however, as
he's doing it for fun, actually, because he has 25 seconds in the bag.
Right, yep.
Quick stop should be able to get him in and out. Pending his team doesn't make a mistake. Well, and you never know what can happen there. Chenjai, sticky front wheel. Could cost you this race win right now, but he's definitely won it. He's exiting the pits right now. Chenjai's doing it in style, shall we say. And that is the race win for him.
Unbelievable scenes. And Freeware had quite, well, of course, the Renault passing through the pits has cost him a lot of time, but closing to 12 seconds at the finish. And Dick Tucker in the Ferrari, barring any other penalties, crossing the line for the final podium position, twisting his car every which way in celebration across the finish, and that is third for the Ferrari driver.
I wonder if AJ was a lap down, actually. It's quite confusing there because Anok is the 3-second time penalty. Still hasn't finished the lap yet. And if it's showing AJ is already crossing the line, but whether that will change, he probably got a time penalty there. It won't make any difference, really. He will still finish, should still finish there because Seamus is too far back. Seamus crosses the line now. Yep, he won't. Schumacher will cross the line. Schumacher going across the line, P8, pending his time penalties. I'm just curious about Anok if he's going to lose out to AJ with those time penalties. So he's in P9. He crosses the line now. And no, he won't. So AJ must have been a lap down there or had some other time penalty. And that's your race done.
Quite the confusing one with all these telemetry glitches, but we got through it. And the driver of the day from Codemasters is MRL Chenjai, working his way from all the way in the back of the grid to first place. And we will see him up on the podium now. Very well deserved with a stellar drive, practically flawless. And please tell us who your driver of the day is in the stream comments, as we will take a bath in some champagne.
Move back.
And that is the Vietnam Grand Prix in the books. MRL Chenjai taking the win and the fastest lap by quite a mile. MRL Freeware coming in second place and Dick Tucker rounding out the podium. Behind them we have Mikau finishing in fourth after all. Pile of Garbage in fifth. Big Poppy sixth. Seamus Soul Leader in seventh. Schumacher in eighth. Fighting his way into the points. Enoch in ninth. And AJ in 10th. And behind them, Addy Stryker in 11th. Steven, representing Alfa Romeo, in 12th. Peregrinator, I was going to get that right eventually, in 13th. Synth, 14th. Yoda, 15th, after having a very unfortunate collision. Finn, 16th. Cirillo, 17th. Prodigy, in 18th. Louise, 19th. And Emerald Henner, rounding out the protocol for this race. We will be right back with some driver interviews. Don't go anywhere. And we are back with today's heroes joining us for the driver interviews. Let's go first to our race winner today. Chen Jie, you made it look easy coming from all the way at the bottom of the grid to the top step of the podium. Walk us through your race and how you got there.
Well, this is an okay start for me off the line. Made up some positions, got some pretty bad wing damage turn one because it's turn one in the midfield never goes well. Yeah, but from there, I would say I had to pit to change my wing, but perfectly when I was pitting to change my wing, there's a safety car which didn't cost me that much time. And after the safety car restart, I overtook the people on head who are on mediums. And then from there, I just, managed the tires, pitted again for softs, fastest lap, and yeah, it was a pretty boring race.
Now, we saw the collision that Yoda, who was trailing you by, a few seconds, but not too far away, he had a collision towards the end of the race with a wall. Was there ever a time during this race when you seem to have been losing focus being all by yourself up front? And if so, how do you fight it? How do you stay alert with all these barriers so close to you around this track?
I don't find the track that hard. I've already done it a couple times, so even without, with maximum focus, I can still, stay off the walls. But I don't know. Yoda, he doesn't like this track. He hasn't had much practice, so yeah, it's a shame for him. In the middle race, actually, I had a bunch of computer problems, and my AI kept taking over and losing a bunch of time. So yeah, it was really annoying. It was good that I had a gap.
Well, against all odds, you have prevailed, and our congratulations to you from the commentary team on that race victory. Very well deserved, very good drive.
Yeah, also, congratulations taking the fastest lap and also doing that little 8-minute dive into the pit lane. So yeah, a little bit of entertainment there for us. We were laughing up the commentary box. Congratulations.
And we will move on to Freeware now, who also shared the podium with you. Now, that was a very, very tough race, and you had to do quite a lot of battle. Now, what does it take to succeed around this track? What does it take to be able to pull off clean overtakes against one driver after another? Walk us through it.
I think the majority of my overtakes was just I started last and I just let the chaos unfold in the first few corners, and like half the grid pitted lap 1 or something, so I gained a few positions there. And then it seemed like the other drivers weren't the fastest around the track, like losing very much time out of the corners, so the passes on the DRS straight were pretty easy. And yeah, then I was, I think, second or something in front of Yoda, and I broke my wing, so I pitted again. But yeah, then he DNF'd, so I got second. Was after the safety car was it was quite a boring race, but still good effort from last to second, I think.
Now, we saw quite a few drivers going on to a 3-stop strategy for this race. So tell us, Freeware, did you have any issues managing your tires? How did they handle themselves out there?
I planned to do a 2-stop, but like from the safety car, I pitted under the safety car for mediums or softs. I don't know. I think for mediums.
Yeah, it's mediums.
And then I broke my wing. That's why I did the 3-stop strategy. But otherwise, the 2-stop would have been, I think, a good idea. And the issue about the other drivers were probably front wing damage too, so they made a few more pit stops than you usually do.
Very, very hard to keep it out of the wall on this track, indeed, especially with that very low downforce setup to be able to take those straights. We'll move on to Mikau now, and he had quite the fiery race through the field to finish in 4th. Walk us a little bit through it. Now, the lobby was slightly desynced, so we weren't sure what we were seeing was real, what we were seeing wasn't. How was that fight for you up to 4th position?
No, it was interesting. Turn 1 was certainly very scary. I think I got a tap from a couple drivers behind, but I got a good start. I think I was up from 17th to I think 10th, before the first corner, so it was a very good start. And try to keep my composure. Got in a little bit of a collision with Dick Tucker in the Ferrari, which sent me spinning and put me on the back foot. But my focus this entire race was, get those 2 points that I needed to clinch out the title. So after a few mishaps and a few love taps at the wall here and there, it was just finish the race and just do the pace that I know I had, and yeah, and I somehow got P4, which I'm quite happy with.
Absolutely. And of course, you leading quite handsomely in the championship means that this is the job done for you, and you can start to celebrate as the newly crowned assists tier 1, I believe it is. Still coming to grips with all these league names. Champion. So congratulations to you, Macau. Very, very well deserved and a great run. Moving on to Seamus, who drove himself a very impressive race through the middle of the pack. Tell us a little bit about what it takes to be able to tussle with multiple drivers in a corner and come out with all of your wheels and all of your wings still intact.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy process, and there's definitely a lot of contact being made laps like 1 through 5. Honestly, it's about being predictable, and being able to understand what's going to happen, not a car ahead of you, but multiple cars ahead of you, and knowing that you have to lift and get off the gas in order to brake in time. And then it's the people behind you that you just have to trust will do the same. But yeah, I pretty proud of my drive this week. I had a few incidents with a couple wings getting broken. One of them definitely being my fault, which I think is the one that I ended up taking the rest of the race. It didn't affect my times too much. And then one of them that was a racing incident, and I'll talk to that driver afterwards respectfully. I'm not going to report it or anything like that. It doesn't affect the standings. So, but it's one of those things where in races like this, you're going to have some incidents, and you just have to be able to mentally forget about them, have a short memory, and just focus ahead, which is something that I definitely improved on. This race that I didn't do so well in assist tier 1 on Saturday. So I was really proud of myself for that.
Great stuff, and thank you very much for that insight. Biggles, what do you make of this one? It was a really impressive race and a very, very entertaining one indeed.
Super impressive race as well. And then only with the essentially with the 6 drivers retiring. And that was later in the race as well. We only had a couple of retirements at the start. So hats off to these drivers. And obviously minimal penalties. That's great to see. We don't have to sit here and be sitting here to be mathematicians, shall we say, to sit here and try to calculate all these penalties. It's good that and also it's very good to entertainment to watch, because you want to be able to see drivers passing on track, not having to worry whether they have 6 seconds of penalties or 9 seconds of penalties, etc. So yeah, and lots of carbon fiber. I feel sorry for those drivers, because that the damage that you cause to your cars will have to come out of your salary. So I'm not sure if your team bosses have made you aware of that, but well, if you earn $1 million and it costs you $10,000, I'm sure that's pocket change to you. But congratulations. Obviously, as a fellow Australian, I'm very proud that my mate Macau has taken the signed, sealed, and delivered the championship, I believe. So he'll be flying that trophy back to Australia. We'll be proudly displaying that in the middle of Sydney. To let all the other drivers know that this is what happens, and you're born and raised in Australia. You can tend to win. No, it's a little bit of bragging there. Sorry. But, yeah, congratulations. Yeah, I had fun. Good performance there, obviously, from Dick Tucker as well. There we didn't hear from Polly Garbage, Big Papi, same as that we heard from. Good job, Schumacher. Very proud there. He's got some points. I think he was excited. A little shout out to me. Like, he got points. He's like, points finished. Yep, congratulations, sir. You did do it. Anik and AJ are getting points there. And we still have to, don't forget about their AJ, Stephen Pregnator, who raced all the way at the back by himself with a lot of difficulties, but still finished. And that's crucial to finish. And that's good, because even if you don't finish up in the points, you're still getting experience. And a lot of these drivers, they come back bigger and better and faster. Bigger and better, faster and stronger, shall we say. Yep. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. And with the pun fully intended, the drivers really gave us a lights out performance today. Of course, the championship battle for first may be settled, but we are not done yet, and we will be back with the final round of the season in Brazil next week. But for the time being, from myself, Savage from Team Crossroads, and my partner here, part-time astrophysicist Biggles, it has been an absolute pleasure to join you all at home in the commentary booth, and we will see you for the next one. Thank you so much.
Good job, part-time astrophysicist. This is your personal astrophysicist.